Patrick, can you see my hand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Hello, and welcome to Portland with Patrick. My name is Patrick Russell, and I'll be your host. If you've seen previous episodes, it's great to have you back. If you're new to this show, welcome. And you can check out previous episodes at portlandwithpatrick.com. Tonight, it is a great pleasure to have with us Marrion. Marrion is an awesome musician that I've known for a little while now. And she's going to play a couple songs for us tonight, and then we're going to talk about her art and music. Marrion, it's great to have you.
Hi, nice to be here.
Let's hear a song.
Okay.
That sounded great, Marrion.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful song.
Thank you.
Reminds me of Bob Dylan a lot, the kind of elegant but spiteful love songs that he wrote.
Yeah, Bob Dylan is somebody who I draw a lot of inspiration from. Elegant but spiteful, that's interesting. Yeah, he definitely has like a lot going on in his lyrics, and especially like his love songs are just very powerful. So that's probably where I get a lot of that from.
So tell me how you got into music. How did it come into your life?
I took piano lessons when I was little. My older sisters both played piano, and my mom like got lessons for me because that's like what I really, really wanted. And I played piano for like 4 years, and then got really bored of it and switched to guitar and got bored of that, and just like several instruments down the road, got into the ukulele, originally like a baritone, and now I play like this one, which I think is a soprano, but it's just like a really fun instrument because you can practice all the time. Yeah.
So what else is it about the ukulele that really inspires you? It's not an instrument that you see every day with the style of music that you play.
I really like it because you can carry it everywhere. Probably it's just like easy to play, and you can jam with anybody like at any time, and there's so much you can do with it. It's just like a very interesting instrument to sort of show up at a jam session with.
So you mentioned your family a little bit. Tell me about like how you play music with them, or you know, how they've inspired or encouraged, or.
Yeah, it's really funny because neither of my parents play music, but they love music. But we all, there are 5 of us, and we all sort of play something somehow. And my two of my sisters and I play music a lot together. My older sister plays like guitar and fiddle and piano, and then my younger sister plays the saxophone and the mandolin and a little bit of guitar. And we all sing and like do harmonies and stuff. It's really nice to have the family connection because you kind of like pick up on what the other one's thinking.
Yeah, it's definitely great to have that. Does your family write their own songs also, or?
My little sister and I have written a couple songs together, but usually we just do covers because we're not together a lot.
Yeah.
So we just like play when we are together, not too serious.
So tell me, how'd you get into writing your own songs? Did you write a lot before that, before you began writing music, or?
So I always sort of like write, and then just recently, like maybe like last year or something, I started turning like poetry and stuff into like songs. But I have probably the hardest thing about writing a song is making it so that the music and the words go together in like the mood, I guess.
So how's the process go for you? Do you come up with the music and the tune first and then add the lyrics, or do the lyrics come to your mind first?
Well, like with that one, what happened was I had been playing this like riff, which was like the riff in there for like 4 weeks or something with no words. And separately, I wrote like a poem, and they kind of came together. So they were 2 separate things, and they came together nicely, I guess.
Cool. Can we hear another song?
Yeah.
Either an original or a cover?
We can do an original.
Awesome.
As long as I'm allowed to swear, which I guess I am.
Yeah, no, don't worry about that.
And this one's actually, I'm going to get in so much trouble for saying this in Portland, Maine. I wrote this song about hipsters.
Gonna buy some lemonade, something out this goddamn city
the store for lemonade. And I'm skipping down the sidewalk singing songs to myself about how I wish I was somewhere else. And I trip on my shoelace that's been untied for 4 whole days, singing songs about how I wish I was somewhere else. But I'm cool as shit riding down the street on my bicycle with no hands on the handlebars and smoking a cigarette with a beer in my left hand, riding down the street on my bike. And I'm sitting in my bedroom with the door locked so no one can get in if I don't want them to, singing songs to my friends about how I'm cool as shit, sitting in my bedroom, 'cause I'm cool as shit, riding down the street on my bicycle with no hands on the handlebars and smoking a cigarette with a beer in my left hand, riding down the street on my bike.
Yeah. That's a funny song.
Thank you.
So I gotta ask, what is your definition of a hipster?
I don't know. I guess I'm a hipster by definition, but everybody's a hipster by definition. That one actually, I really was feeling pretty cool as shit when I wrote that, because I was riding down the street smoking a cigarette on my bike. So,
Oh, I appreciate that honesty.
yeah, so I guess, yeah. But I've definitely seen other folks smoking cigarettes while riding bikes, so. Portland, Maine!
So tell me about hard traveling.
Hard traveling.
Or just traveling.
Traveling. It's free and it's awesome and tiresome sometimes. You're always doing stuff. Somebody once told me that freedom is the scariest thing because you wake up in the morning and they said that it's the most awesome thing because you wake up in the morning and you get to decide what to do, but it's the scariest thing for that reason. Like, what am I going to do today? And that's kind of how it is. You're always in a different place and different people, but you get to become who you want to become. So that's good. You have a lot of time to yourself. Even though you're surrounded by people, you can sometimes be by yourself.
So tell me about the trip you took for those people that don't know the details of like where you started and ended up.
So the long and short of it is my dad always said that 19 was the age he wished he could go back to if he could go back to any age. So on a couple days after my 19th birthday, I got a backpack, and I was living in Massachusetts at the time, so I went back to Maine to visit my family for like a week, and then I just like left, and I didn't have any destination, and I was like bound and determined to make 19 a good year. So I ended up in California for a long time. Along the way, I hit like Minneapolis, and Minneapolis was really awesome, and just a lot of cities in between. But like I realized I made it when I got to the Pacific Ocean, and I was like, yeah, I'm at the other. Where do I go now?
Can't go any further. Yeah.
Can't go any further. So I went down and then up, and then back home.
That must have been a cool feeling arriving there on the opposite coast.
Yeah.
You know, most people take a plane, or some people drive cross country, but the type of trip you did is more like something like the early pioneers, like an adventure across the country.
Yeah, it was an adventure. It was the German word for adventure is Abenteuer, and it's just like so fitting. It's that word, the German version, reminds me of Tom Sawyer. It just sounds like Tom Sawyer, and that's kind of how I feel like an adventure should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So part of your trip was funded by your music.
Yeah.
Not that particular instrument, but the baritone.
Baritone, which I don't have with me today. Yeah, I left with $10, and I was pretty determined to make it on $10 and whatever I could make on the way. So I was busking all around, and you meet really you can tell a lot about a city by the way the people react to a busker on their street corner, especially one with like a backpack, because they're like, you're not from here, are you? And either it's, you're not from here, are you? Or get out of my town. Usually it was the former. Usually people were really supportive and like, yeah, good for you.
And where do you think Portland falls in that spectrum of?
I mean, I landed here, so
yeah.
It's high up there on the list of places to be. I would say Minneapolis is a close second.
So why Portland? What about it here? I mean, you've seen a lot of different cities, not just big cities, but like small towns, small cities across the country. Why are you in Portland?
Portland's got a lot of stuff going on, and it's small enough, it's big enough that you don't have to get involved in anything, but it's like small enough that if there's stuff that you want to get involved in, like people are open and welcoming. And the music scene is awesome. The art scene is awesome. There's just so much stuff going on all the time, and it's hard to decide. I never thought I'd have this problem. Like, it's hard to decide what I want to do, because on any given night there's something going on. Like, there's a jam somewhere, like somebody doing art in their house, or like inviting 1 million people to come do art. And the galleries are cool. The shops are awesome. The Old Port's like a great place to busk, and downtown's pretty good for busking sometimes. It's an open city.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. It's really an exciting time to be living in Portland.
Yeah.
On my last show, Silas said that Portland feels like what he would think Greenwich Village or San Francisco in the 60s was like. Just so much happening and so many people doing amazing creative things.
Yeah, I feel like that too. There are all these stories about like the hippies in the 60s and what they did, but nobody really thinks about like what's happening now. So, and it's like this is what's happening now, and Portland's where it's at and what's happening, what's going on.
So I've got to ask, I know there's some regulations that are being talked about with art in Portland, and you're part of Protect Portland's creative community.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what's going on right now.
So this is a battle with the man. City Hall decided, or I don't know who decided, but there are some new ordinances going in that would restrict street artist activity by shutting down like Bellboy Park and restricting like exactly where people can set up, to the point where it's going to be like difficult for people to set up a table to sell their art or their paintings. Also, they're making artists register with the city, which seems kind of like a scary list that I don't really want to be on. So Protect Portland's creative community is just like exactly what it sounds like. We want to keep things the way they are. Like there's kind of an unwritten code among street artists and musicians, and it's just, be respectful. I've never seen anybody in Portland not follow that. So it feels like these restrictions are looking for an issue.
What do you? How do you think Portland would change if those restrictions were passed?
It wouldn't be as vibrant as it is. I mean, like right now, one of the reasons I moved here was because it was like an open space. It was a free space to go to and get stuff going. But I mean, new people aren't going to be very welcome. So I think the population of well-meaning individuals is going to definitely go down, well-meaning creative individuals. I think it would just kill the art scene. And I mean, we boast of the arts district in Portland, so it's like...
Yeah, it's one of the things the city is known for.
Yeah, but there's a meeting, actually.
Well, I was going to ask you if, I'm sure a lot of people would be upset if they knew what was being proposed.
Yeah.
How can people take action and voice their disagreement?
So the best way to get involved with the creative community and to like find out exactly what's going on is to go on the Facebook page, which is Protect Portland's Creative Community, or like email us at portlandscreativecommunity@gmail.com. But February 12th, there is a meeting at City Hall at 5:30 that I'm asking every artist, anybody who appreciates art, anything to go to and speak, because it's a public hearing, so you can talk for 3 minutes, and I want everybody to get their 3 minutes in. We're having a meeting previous to that at the Meg Perry Center on February 2nd at 7, I believe. Double check that on the Facebook page, but believe it's 7. Yeah, we just want as many people involved as possible.
Yeah, I would definitely encourage people to attend those meetings, and that's where changes can be made in small ways.
Yeah, well, in big ways, hopefully.
Small actions to make big changes.
Yeah,
something like that. I don't know. Politics. We got time for one more song.
Okay.
Back to the topic of busking and traveling.
Yes.
I want to hear what was like your top busking song, your most well received.
That would be 1 a.m. when the bars are getting out is the best time to busk, because people don't care, and you could just like play a bunch of stuff. This is not my song. This is by Kimmy and Dawson. Beer I had for breakfast was a bottle of Mad Dog, and my 20/20 vision was 50% off. You said punch Buggy Red, punch me right in my left eye. I said don't you mean padiddle, set his house on fire. He came home and asked that I was holding a shotgun, and I was dressed like Tina Turner and Beyond Thunderdome. Said don't shoot, I said I won't, I love you, you're my friend. I handed in my wig and shot myself in the head. Stuffed a box of tissues in the hole in my skull. Got in my Mazda and I drove to the mall. I got a Big Johnson shirt, some silicone tits. When I pulled out the tissues, they were covered with shit. And the beer I had for breakfast was a box of cheap wine, and the boombox on my shoulder was a box of clementines. I ate every single one without noticing the mold. Said you're gross, my darling. I said no, I'm rock and roll. Even though I've never ever been in a band, I've got cool as black ice tattooed on my hand, and the Christians gave me comic books as if I would be scared. Burning in hell, I was already there. Beer I had for breakfast, silver bullet to the brain, and the beer I had for lunch was a bottle of nitrate. Beer I had for dinner was my crazy neighbor's pills. We had to sit down on skateboards just to make it down the hill.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was very profitable at 1 a.m.
1 a.m. when the bars are getting out, there is no song that makes more money.
So tell me about Lizzie.
Lizzie!
I was sure that she would be joining us for this discussion.
I know, her bones here and everything. Lizzie, halfway across the country, I decided I wanted a dog, and everybody was telling me about manifestation. So I decided to do some active manifestation, and I wrote like a little song, just like a couple lines. And in Bakersfield, California, I was having a really bad day. I played it on the street, and somebody said, well, I got a dog for you. And that's Lizzie. And she's right there, but you can't see her.
Yeah, it's great to have her here.
Nice. She knows it's nice to be here.
Yeah. So we got time for one more question.
Okay.
If you could go to outer space, would you?
Where would I be going?
Depends.
On?
Probably just like not that far into outer space. Just
what kind of
maybe like halfway to the moon.
What kind of technology are we talking about here? Like, can I go into the sun?
No.
So like modern technology.
Yeah, it'd be like a comfy spaceship ride.
Okay.
Maybe like some fancy leather chairs and like a nice window to look at the Earth from space.
Okay. I'd go to Mars actually, because it's red and everybody's doing all their like Mars stuff. I would love to be the first person on Mars. But I mean, like, if I was presented with this question seriously and somebody was like, all right, you want to go to Mars tomorrow? I'd probably back out. But right now, I'll say yeah.
All right. well, hopefully the opportunity will present itself.
Are you offering me a trip to Mars?
I wish I could be.
Okay.
But I'm not.
Okay.
But thank you for being on my show anyways. It was great having you, Marrion.
Yeah, it was nice being here.
And for those of you out there watching, thanks for tuning in to Portland with Patrick. Hopefully you'll catch us again next week, and you can catch previous episodes at portlandwithpatrick.com. Have a good night. All right.
All right.
That's that.
That's that?
Yeah.
That's good. I'm so sad Lizzie wasn't
I
in
was
it.
sure that she would come up here.
She's just chilling on. There's even a Lizzie cam.
I thought she'd be like causing a ruckus, actually.
Me too.
That knowing Lizzie. This
She's
is like
gonna
the
be, getting into stuff.
quietest I've seen her, and like the stillest. You didn't like drug her before the show.
No, I didn't. I didn't drug
I was
her.
gonna ask you about that, but I was like, maybe that's probably not appropriate television conversations.
So did you drug your dog before the show? If so, if yes, check which drug used.